AOC just had a meltdown on the House floor, accused Trump of lying about Medicaid, then turned around and called no tax on tips a deal with the devil. Now, look, obviously I'm not a politician and I haven't read every line of this bill, but I'm paying attention to how people are reacting. And what I'm seeing is a lot of noise and a lot of fear and a lot of lies unraveling in real time. So let's walk through this clip by clip, y'all.
President Trump had issued some statements throughout this process saying and urging, insisting that this bill does not cut Medicaid. He's also said some things, he says he doesn't think I'm too much of a smart person. And I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't take a smart person to know if you're being lied to. All right. President Trump, you're either being lied to or you are lying to the American people. Because this bill represents, in the text of this bill, the largest and greatest loss of health care in American history. 17 million Americans will lose their health care on this bill, not undocumented people, not quote unquote the disgusting term illegal, but 17 million Americans will have their health care cut from this bill. On this point,
bold words, but notice there's no breakdown. There's just a lot of emotion. If Medicaid was really going to get slashed across the board, wouldn't more than just AOC be sounding an alarm? Of course. Mind my ignorance. Instead, though, she's going for the viral soundbite, it looks like. And in the next clip, the betrayal hits harder. Now she's coming after the tips, and not in a good way.
On this point of tax on tips, as one of the only people in this body who has lived off of tips, I want to tell you a little bit about the scam of that text, a little bit of the fine print there. The cap on that is $25,000. While you're jacking up taxes on people who make less than $50,000 across the United States, while taking away their SNAP, while taking away their Medicaid, while kicking them off of the ACA and their health care extensions. So if you're at home and you're living off tips, you do the math. Is that worth it to you? Losing all your health care, not able to feed your babies, not being able to put a diaper on their bottom in exchange for what? This bill is a deal with the devil. On this
Somebody said
of tax on
in the comments, she's not talking about Americans, she's fighting for illegals and scammers. I'm saying a deal with the devil? So wait, helping waiters, bartenders, and single moms keep, tips is evil now? Here's what's real, okay? This is one of the few policies, I guess, where both sides can actually agree. Less taxes on everyday people is a good thing. But instead of building unity, she makes it sound like it's some sort of trick. Now listen, I want you to check out someone who's not reading talking points. A senior citizen who says she's read the bills and called AOC on her lies herself.
I tell you what, I am just about fed up with the liberals lying on TikTok. They keep saying, oh, they're taking Medicaid out of the seniors. No, they're not. Go read the damn bill before you go and put out your videos is what I gotta tell you. Because the bill states it very clearly that if you are an able-bodied American between the ages of 18 and 54 with no children, that you have to work 20 hours a week. Nowhere does it say anything about seniors. So quit spreading goddamn lies. I'm sick of it. I'm a senior. And they're not cutting it. So quit spreading lies. You're just mad because some of you got to get your lazy ass to work. Well, you should be. I'm tired of forking over the bill for you lazy asses to sit home and get free medical. I'm done with it. I'm done forking out all this money. This is going to save billions of dollars over 10 years. And it's not touched the first senior, because you're talking to a senior right here. I'll be 64 in a few weeks.
Happy birthday.
You know what? You can take your lies and shove them where the sun don't shine. All right, God bless America. God bless the American people. Happy Memorial Day, and God bless the American soldier. And you liberals, Shut your mouth, Trap, until you know what you're talking about.
I know that's right. Now, I took the liberty of going to congress.gov and finding the big, beautiful bill. I don't know if y'all better see that, though. Yeah, well, it's on congress.gov. Okay, maybe. I'm on congress.gov right here, and I have access to the bill. And she was talking about it. I'm like, I need to go ahead and access it and start looking through specific sections. But I'm going to point out that's not a senator. It's not a Fox News host. That's a 64-year-old woman, soon to be 65, who's lived through policies and took time to look into it thoroughly, according to what she's saying. And she said what millions are starting to feel. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of being used. That's what actually brought this channel about, I would suppose. Now, Stephen Miller felt the same way. And in the next clip, he lays it all the way out.
I've spent my entire life in the conservative movement. Since I was a kid in high school, working, dreaming of the day where we could have a piece of legislation like what exists right now, Sean, what President Trump has brought to the precipice of passage. Each and every one of the individual titles in this bill would be considered one of the great achievements in the history of the conservative movement. The title, for example, building the missile defense shield for the United States of America, Sean, so we can be safe, our children can be safe from foreign adversaries in this growing era of intercontinental ballistic missiles as nations race for supremacy. The section on this bill enshrining border and homeland security, this is the most far-reaching border security proposal, homeland security proposal in my lifetime. Sean, not just my lifetime, going back to Eisenhower, going back to since we've had conversations about the border, Sean. I take this seriously. I've stood by the families whose kids have been murdered by illegal aliens. We made them a promise. Most importantly, the American people voted to fulfill that promise in the last election. This bill fulfills it. It is the largest tax cut and reform in American history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, 100% expensing for new factories. Think about that. Every single business owner with a dream of manufacturing in America can deduct 100% of that cost to make the American dream come true here in the United States. Here's another one for you, Sean. The largest welfare reform in American history. Work requirements on food stamps, work requirements on Medicaid, the two largest welfare programs that exist, and now we are attaching work requirements to those programs. Orders of magnitude larger than the welfare reform the Republicans enacted into law in the 1990s. I am sick and tired of the lies about this bill that have been perpetrated by opportunists who are trying to make a name for themselves. This is the most conservative bill in my lifetime. Tax cuts, defense, border security, homeland security, welfare reform, and the largest spending cut in one bill that has ever been enacted. So, Sean, let's work together. Let's pass this bill. Let's get it to President Trump's desk by July 4th.
Obviously, this was a clip from June 30th, so it's prior to July. But Stephen Miller, man, he's tired of it. He's tired of the Smith campaign, rather. And that's not anger, in my opinion. That's structure. Defense, tax cut. I'm just saying. You got border reform. Now, you ain't got to like Trump. You don't have to like that man to admit those aren't the normal governing priorities, at least from what I've seen through the previous administrations. But watch this next clip and tell me how the media doesn't choke on its own hypocrisy.
I want to go on record. I'm up for re-election this year, and I'm going to remind everybody what I did at home, which is going to cost me politically. When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time. Somebody has to tell me in here how we're going to do this hard work without dealing with any of those sacred cows. I meant every single solitary thing.
That makes
I
absolutely
want to go on record.
no sense. Absolutely no sense. That's Joe Biden in 1995 bragging about trying to cut the same exact programs AOC says Trump is trying to destroy. So when Biden does it, it's responsible. But when Trump talks about saving money, it's fascism. I'm going to tell you, the math is just not, it ain't mathing. And that panic button is about to get smashed because Hakeem Jeffrey, Dollar Store Obama, y'all, walks in with the full pace apocalypse forecasts.
Good morning. We are here today, united as House Democrats, to make clear to the American people that every single House Democrat will stand up for your health care, stand up for your Medicaid, stand up for your Medicare, stand up for the Affordable Care Act, stand up for nutritional assistance for our children, our seniors, and our veterans, stand up for our hospitals, stand up for our nursing homes, stand up for our community-based health centers, and stand up against massive tax breaks for GOP billionaire donors. And that is why every single House Democrat will vote hell no against this one big, ugly bill. And all we need are 4 House Republicans to join us in defense of their constituents who will suffer mightily from this bill. Children will be hurt. Families will be hurt. People with disabilities will be hurt. Women will be hurt by what is an all-out assault on the health care of the American people. An unprecedented assault, ripping health care away from more than 17 million Americans. Premiums, copays, and deductibles for other people on private insurance will go up all across the country. Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. Community-based clinics will not have the ability to operate. And as a result, people are going to die connected to this one big ugly bill. Tens of thousands of unnecessary American deaths per year. Shame on Republicans for even bringing this bill to the House floor. So all we need are 4 Republicans to join us in support of their constituents, to have John McCain-level courage and stand up in defense of the health care of the American people.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell y'all I was literally fighting to stay woke. And I'm not even tired. I know that may sound like an exaggeration, but I was really over here like, it came out of nowhere. Now that it's over with, my energy is coming back. But somebody wrote up under here, I would really like to see the data on that. What does he come up with this information? Tens of millions? Yeah, man, all I hear is fear, panic, death. That's the go-to script when they don't want you looking into the details, apparently, because I'm about to get ready to look at this bill. I can't wait to make an updated video on what I found. And maybe that works on cable news, but not here, man. So let's strip it down and let's strip all the fear down and ask, what does this bill actually do for the working class? Speaker Mike Johnson apparently lays this out pretty clearly.
Well, we want to reduce the growth rate of the debt, of course, and you do that in 2 ways. You limit spending, you reduce federal spending, and you spur on economic growth. That's what this package is all about. Remember the first 2 years of the Trump administration. After the first 2 years, we brought about the greatest economy in the history of the world. It wasn't even close. Prior to COVID, everybody was doing better, literally every demographic in the country and every region of the country, because we had a combination of reduced taxes and reduced regulations. We're going to do that again this time in this bill on steroids. It really will be jet fuel to the economy, and everyone will benefit. We're estimating the average American will have an additional $10,000 take-home pay because of this. You will have no taxes on your tips and on your overtime. Seniors will get a reduction in taxes because of a credit they'll have, those on Social Security. There's something in this bill, literally, as the president said today, for everyone. It is great policy and is going to help the economy, help the American people, and fulfill the promises of the America First agenda. Getting it done by July 4th will be purely poetic and perfect for all of us.
No yelling, no guilt, no shame. Just numbers. Now, keep that in mind. I said that for a reason. But $10,000 more for every average family? That's radical? That's what y'all call radical? I call that relief. And if that sounds good to you, guess what? Some folks think that makes you sound stupid. I'm not exaggerating. Watch this next clip and you'll see how they really feel about you.
I guess I'm always surprised at just how dumb Trump supporters are. I guess I'm always confused as to literally how stupid Trump supporters are. I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm starting to accept that you guys are just really dumb. And you don't know how to read. You don't know how to read, and you're dumb. And that's why you genuinely believe that a con artist with 34 felonies is what is going to redeem you and save you from your financial woes. It's stupidity. It's this. You don't have this. Trump supporters don't use this. Trump voters, they genuinely think that a con artist that is a PDF file and lusts after his own daughter, that's the man that's going to save you. Stupidity. Of course you won't get taxed on tips through 2028, by the way, but of course you wouldn't know that because you don't read. Or overtime, because you won't get any. You won't get any. The bill makes it harder to get overtime, idiot. This. And then what's making it worse, they want y'all to be more dumb, and so they're shutting down schools. Idiot. Just dumb. Just dumb idiots. Dumb, stupid, dumb idiots. Dumb, idiots.
That wasn't no commentary, yo. That was elitism. Now, if your only argument is you're broke and stupid, then maybe you don't have the facts. This is exactly why people are starting to walk away from the narrative in the Democrat Party and plantation altogether. Not because they angry, but because they are awake. Not woke. Awake. Two different things. Sorry I had to put y'all through that. My bad, but, you know, that's what we got to do now. Watch this final clip, and you'll see it's not just Trump talking. It's momentum.
Both Republicans and Democrats are facing the cold, hard truth that Trump might be unstoppable. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, you need to look realistically at what he's doing and how quickly he's doing it. The Trump archives are a series of near impossible feats that we have been told. The Israelis have agreed to a ceasefire deal in Gaza that would bring home the hostages. Hamas has not agreed. Like all Mideast peace deals, it's fragile, but there is progress. Here at home, just today, the University of Pennsylvania announced something that they said they never would, a change to its policy on trans athletes. Men will no longer be allowed to play on women's sports teams. It seems obvious, right? But a couple of years ago, if you said that, you were a bigot. Penn, of course, is where the biological male, Leah Thomas, made a mockery of swimming records. That is no more. The border is closed. We were told that it couldn't be done by Joe Biden. Without congressional action, Trump did it. The big, beautiful bill just passed the Senate. Trump's more politically powerful than ever, even more powerful than when we told you yesterday that he's the most powerful modern president. Again, this is not cheerleading. This is telling you what is happening and why it matters to you. And this bill for Donald Trump is a critical step. Bill O'Reilly told us last night that Trump's entire legacy is tied up in whether the bill passes both the Senate and the House. What I think is interesting is you say this is a must make or break moment right now for Donald Trump in these days.
Yeah, I'm right as usual, and you're wrong. Because if a recession hits, Donald Trump's second term is over. He'll lose the midterms, he'll lose Congress, he'll get nothing done, he'll go down in history as a failed president.
All right, today the Senate delivered. The House is next. It's going to be an uphill battle, but as we've told you before, don't bet against Trump. Even when he had impeachments, felony charges, and felony convictions. Trump has also won major victories at the Supreme Court on the power of the executive branch. He bombed Iran and severely damaged their nuclear program without starting World War III. A major deal with the Saudis and Israelis could be coming. The B-2 pilots who struck Iran are coming to the White House for July 4th. The stock market closed at record highs this week, despite all the tariff hysteria. The list goes on and on. President Trump even went to go check out his newest made-for-TV moment today and toured Alligator Alcatraz. This is a migrant holding facility in the swamps of the Florida Everglades. And Trump obviously understands that the alligator namesake is a key selling point.
Well, the alligator Alcatraz is the idea that it's going to they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something. I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this.
All right, the jokes aside, the breakneck pace continues to keep his opponents off their game. He moves too fast for anybody to actually challenge him on any one thing. We told you this was going to happen. The first couple of weeks of Trump 2.0, we called it violence of action. Like Trump, hate Trump. He continues to move at a rate unseen in presidential history.
Hey, you don't need to agree with everything Trump says, but when they lie about a bill, tax on tips, tax breaks, and scream death every time they lose control, I'm going to tell y'all now, that's not leadership, that's panic. They don't have a control on this. This video was just to show you Trump is reaching feats that are unimaginable. And every chance they get, these Democrats try to tear him down. And panic is the loudest right before the fall. AOC can melt down all she wants. But more Americans are not buying it anymore. Just not cutting it. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Like, comment, subscribe as well. I got to get used to saying that.